Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. You know, everybody thinks, from watching some of these restaurant shows that it's so easy to just have a great concept, open up a restaurant, and, you'll have to beat them off with a stick. But two gentlemen are joining me in studios right now, John Glaser and Dallas Hale. They are the folks behind Shell Shack. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you having us on.
Well, and you guys have been phenomenally successful. You have locations in Uptown, Mesquite, Arlington, West Plano. But tell me about the early days, Dallas, because I can't believe that it was that easy to...
No, actually, it wasn't that easy. My business partner and myself, Matt Sabo, we came up with this crab concept, and we took 2.5 years to perfect it at our sports bar doing Crab Thursdays. And once we had it perfected, our other business partner came up and said, "Hey, guys, I got a spot." And rest is history. We opened up in Uptown. About 3 months later, we started looking for our next location. Took us about 8 months. We opened up a year later after that in Plano. Year after that, we did dual sites. Did Mesquite and Arlington, signed the lease at the same time, and just did one right after the other. And John, who we've known for a long time, who's also the franchise expert, he came to us and he says, I'm going to franchise your spot. And we started franchising after that 3 years later.
Wow. Okay, so John, for those who haven't had the privilege of going to a Shell Shack, what's the experience like?
Yeah, the experience, I think that's what really caught my eye when we first visited their location. I'm always excited when my friends open up new places, and being the foodie that I am, I make sure that goes first on my calendar above all other priorities. But, so I remember walking in the first time and looking around and seeing the store and seeing the electric Shell Shack blue walls and seeing the white tabletops and seeing everybody, all the wait staff just all pumped up and excited and seeming like they're really having a good time. And I'm looking around thinking, man, it's really busy, and these guys are still smiling. What's going on here? What's different in this atmosphere? So I sat down and ordered my food, and next thing you know, I had a waiter come out, and he's like, "Hey, bib or no bib?" I'm like, "Well, you got to ask that question." I guess I'm going to throw the bib on.
Shower curtain?
Yeah, I'm
I recommend the bib every time.
I'm a pretty good eater there, but I think I'm a relatively clean. Then I look around and I see children with the bib, and I see the father with the bib and the mother with the bib, and I'm like, okay, well, there's something to that. So yeah, sure, give me the bib. And he's like, glove or no glove? And I'm like, well, I think I'll pass on the glove, but I'm willing to get my hands dirty a little bit. So needless to say, you had really fun music in the background. Everybody was having a good time. It's such a fun, friendly family atmosphere. And the food was just outstanding. I didn't know what to expect on the food side either. I mean, obviously I knew the brains behind it. I knew the time that they took to do the R&D behind it. And they just really opened up a really solid brand. Getting the first one open, that's the biggest hill that everyone has to cross. Is keeping it open is the next one, and then deciding to expand further after that is where it's really at, and so there we are.
Well, Dallas, I think part of the experience is when they bring this hot steaming bag to the table. Why don't you describe that?
Well, the crab comes in, and we bring it out in a bag, and that's where it has all of our spices. You can go Cajun, you can go lemon pepper, you can go garlic, or you can do the kitchen sink. And that's everything but the kitchen sink, and that is actually what we sell 90% of our spice. It comes up, it's wrapped up, and then you have the option. You want it dumped on the table or in the tray, or do you want to eat out of the bag? About 80% of people just dump it out and let's get after it.
Well, it's not often that I describe how you clean your hands in a restaurant, but can you guys describe how you have
the Shell Shack world famous hand washing station? Absolutely. That was actually an idea of Adam's, our other business partner. He is kind of a tech guy, and he goes, Dallas, I saw this hand washing station somewhere in Austin. And so we did some research on it and found it. It's a great tool. You just stick your hands in. It's actually from hospital use.
No kidding.
What surgeons use, and they stick their hands in there, and it cleans it really well, and they take it out and wipe their hands off. And but yeah, it's hospital grade, and we put them in every location.
It's really part of the experience, isn't it?
It sure is, and it doesn't come without a price tag as well. It's not a cheap solution, but
No,
it
it's not.
definitely is the best solution that we've found.
And unfortunately, we have to. It goes through so many hits, and I mean, it has counters on it that we literally replace them every year because they get used that much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, John, let's talk a little bit about franchising, because this is really a great opportunity for a lot of people who really want to get into the restaurant business, but they don't, want to have to make it up as they go along.
Yeah, so absolutely. Well, that's kind of franchising in a nutshell, what you just said. The core of franchising is not only having that great concept, it's replicating that process. It's developing those processes and those procedures. Extracting that typically is extracting that from the CEOs and the operation guys from their past experience, whether it be 15 to 25 years of experience, and getting that down on paper and putting that in a box and handing that over to another restaurant group that goes, hey, we can work with this. We know what to do with this. And franchising isn't a new thing. That's been around for 75 plus years. So we approached Dallas and Matt a couple years ago, and I just started being that little bird on the shoulder and just saying, guys, we got to do this. We got to do this. And, in the meantime, they're opening up their third and fourth store, and I can see the ongoing struggles that every restaurant group has at that point. But those guys are doing such a good job. They're hard workers. They put their time in. They're there 7 days a week. We probably would expect nothing less from our franchisees. The main groups that we're really going after that are going to be interested in the concept are going to be the groups that already are involved in other franchise systems. They may have another, Steak and Shakes, or they may have Red Robin's, or they may have a steakhouse or something like that, and just simply looking to diversify the portfolio. Those are going to be your prime candidates to expand. And not to mention we're a unique segment for seafood, so typically that's not a segment that's already filled in their portfolio.
Well, Dallas, have you been impressed with the demand? I mean, there's a lot of interest in opening up new shell shacks.
No, there's a ton of interest. Even before John came on board, we were having people, I want to franchise, I want to put it here, I want to put it there. And at the time, we weren't even considering franchising. I give all the credit to John on that. And the demand is huge. I mean, I'm blown away by it. So we're really gearing up for it, getting a lot of procedures in place. We just built a training area at our corporate office, and we're really going to streamline this.
Now, you have a monster truck sitting out in front of your West Plano location, I believe, or do you move it around?
We do move it around. In fact, we also use that for charity. It was just at Touch a Truck, I believe. Which was a charity over at Campbell Green in North Dallas. We love using it for charity. As long as it's not booked out, we will, free of charge, bring it out to anybody's event and let them use it. And it was a great event. Partner Matt actually took it out, and he said that everybody else he felt bad for, because as soon as the truck got there, all the kids just came running to the truck, wanted to be at the truck.
Fire trucks aren't as interesting as they used to be.
Well, that truck actually made news a couple of years ago.
It made worldwide news. Yes, it did. It got stolen out of the location it's sitting at right now.
Is that? And what happened?
Middle of the night, we put it up there to create a little buzz, and all of a sudden I got a call from Matt, and he said, "You got the monster truck?" And I go, "No, it's sitting in Plano." And he goes, "No, it's not." And so I went up there and called the police, and who's going to steal the most famous monster truck in Dallas? Well, a car theft ring out of DeSoto.
Really? Well, as a publicity guy, I got to take my hat off to you. Okay, which one of you swiped the car?
Yeah, it's a little hard to get away.
I wish that was true, but no, it was. I've actually got pictures we can send over to you of how it was found, buried in the woods. It was about 5 hours from being burnt down.
Oh, wow.
But we only got a very little amount of insurance on it, and I guarantee we spent probably 3 times the amount getting it back to where it is, and now it's good, and it's it's a billboard for us and charity event. Yeah.
Well, I think you guys are geniuses. Can you talk about expansion plans? And I don't know if it's confidential, or can you?
No, we can talk about expansion plans, and I'll keep it more of on a high level. our core corporate office is here in DFW. This is where our training staff will be. All the training will be done in corporate office and as well as the stores here. So as we do expand, we're naturally the growth is going to be expanding from DFW out. We're going to tackle Texas first, not necessarily intentionally, but that's the way it's going to happen. We're going to be going to East Texas, down through South Texas, Central Texas, and parts of West Texas as well. From there, we're going to expand out. We're licensed in most of the states of the United States to expand, but naturally we're going to try to keep that tight to Texas, go through the Southwest region first, be looking at opportunities through Phoenix and Denver and Oklahoma City, all the way over to Atlanta. So yeah, we're going to stay right in the Southwest region for now and see how the growth goes.
Well, we're gonna be talking to a workplace culture expert here in just a few minutes, and I think he would be fascinated to hear about your culture, because every time I've come to a Shell Shack, you have just happy employees. I mean, they are engaged. How do you do that?
We try to keep it fun. I encourage the staff to have some fun, but do your job. We've got some really good employees, and Jordan Davis, can't say enough good things about this kid. He came on with me, and he is all about having fun, but doing the job. The customers love them, and we're really trying to bleed that out to all the other stores and just make the workplace a lot of fun while you do your job. And then, money's a byproduct after that.
John, is that part of the experience? I always say that you can, one bad waiter can kind of spoil your experience on a restaurant.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I think that's the core of any business. I mean, the people are the core of the business, not your product. And if you can get the people part and that element right, the rest of it falls into place. So absolutely, that's what we really focus on: empowerment, letting them make their decisions on their particular role, letting them lead by example, those type of things. And so far, it's just been a really great experience to work with these guys as well.
Okay, so Dallas, if there's somebody listening to this program right now and they want to get involved somehow, either as a customer, as an employee, as a perhaps new franchise owner, what would you encourage them to do?
All they have to do is go to our website, theshellshack.com. We've got our franchise opportunities over there. We have employment, or they can just stop by one of the locations. Managers and staff are always more than willing to talk.
Well,
yeah, in the franchise website, you can link that from theshellshack.com. On the top right, there's a franchise tab, as well as you can go directly to the franchise website, which is ownashellshack.com.
Well, I think you guys are brilliant because, as you both know, people can open up a restaurant and it's hot for about a minute and then nobody goes there anymore. Sure. And to have something that you can replicate, year after year, store after store, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. We'll have to have you back sometime. Oh. When we come back, a best-selling author who's teaching the business world how to put people above profits. That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.